In this video, I'll share with you what the best beginner psychedelic is. There are 5 options that I would consider if you are a beginner psychonaut. One of them is DMT, but I would say that DMT is not the best for most people to start with. Physically, DMT is extremely safe, it cannot kill you, but mentally it can be challenging. The reason is that DMT is very intense and it produces an incredibly challenging experience around 50% of the time. On top of that, DMT is usually smoked and the smoking process can be quite tricky. This substance is also hard to measure, so I don't think that DMT is the best beginner psychedelic. Then we have free lysergamides. LSD, LSA and ALALAD. All of these have incredibly similar effects, but LSD is believed to be more challenging than ALALAD or LSA. ALALAD is the least challenging of the three and it almost always gives users a pleasant experience. In fact, I believe that ALAD is the least challenging psychedelic ever. It's even less likely to cause you a bad trip than MDMA, which already is incredibly pleasant. And LSA is somewhere in between. It tends to be gentler than LSD, but not as gentle as ALAD. What you also gotta take into consideration is legality. LSD is illegal in all countries around the world as far as I'm aware. ALAD has recently been scheduled in the US and it remains illegal in almost every country of the world. While when it comes to LSA, these are seeds of Moringa Glory or Hawaiian baby wood doors, so they are not banned. I think that there are some regulations in some countries and in some states of America, but overall they are legal in most places. By the way, you can also buy 1B LSD or 1CP LSD, or instead of ALAD you can buy 1CP ALAD from the internet, which I don't recommend. I don't say you should or shouldn't buy these substances, but they are extremely similar to the previous substances, to LSD and ALAD. And in the majority of countries, you can buy these substances legally from the internet from research chemical companies, which again I don't encourage you to do, but be aware that you cannot consume them legally. So this is kind of a gray area. But I have ordered research chemicals in the past. I have taken them and I am still alive and I still have not been arrested. But again, I do not recommend you to do the same, and I gotta say this so that I don't get shadow banned. And also, many of these research chemicals are dangerous. So of these lysergamides, I would say that if you are afraid of tripping, ALAD or LSA will be the best, while if you are not that afraid, LSD is the way to go. And then there are magic mushrooms. Now, magic mushrooms generally produce a more challenging experience. This isn't a bad thing, because what we call bad trips or challenging trips can be the most healing trips of your life. But as a beginner, you want your first trip to be at least somewhat pleasant so that you don't get scared away from psychedelics. Mushrooms don't have to be unpleasant if you take them in the right environment, which I definitely encourage you to do so, it's a must. But there is a higher chance of them being unpleasant than LSD. With that said, the duration of magic mushrooms is around 2 times shorter than for these lysergamides. So in case the experience becomes unpleasant, then magic mushrooms are better because they are gonna end sooner. So to conclude, if I was a beginner psychonaut and I had an option to try any of these, I would probably either take LSD or magic mushrooms. But if you are afraid of the experience and you want to start gently, ALAD or LSA are better ways to go. Many psychonauts recommend you to start at a low dose, which is safer but not necessarily more beneficial. Always start with a low dose if you have nobody around. But if you are taking the substance in a safe environment with a trusted friend, I believe that you can start with a higher dose. And the benefit of that is that when you start with a higher dose, your ego will not learn as effectively how to skew the psychedelic experience, if that makes sense. In other words, you will not be able to control the experience, which sounds bad, but it's actually amazing. Because when you are able or forced to let go of control, that is when the trip can become amazing. And in a safe environment, bad trips only happen really because people are trying to hold on to their sense of self. But you never know what's gonna happen. So if you are afraid, start small. I love you so much. Thank you for watching and share this video if you enjoyed it.